My name is Helena Mudde. I am a missionary in Angola. My husband Brent is a pilot and program manager here. And I have three children. Sienna is 7, Emmeline is 5, and Ezekiel is 3. I grew up in Angola. I'm a third generation missionary kid and a fourth generation missionary. So I guess being a missionary might be in my blood or my DNA. Um, I love working overseas and with kids of any ages and of any background. The word missionary has always just been a way of life for me. Having grown up here on the mission field, my mom used the word missionary, but it was mostly just missionaries do what God has called them to do, and you are a missionary if you are a child of God. Sometimes that means working overseas in different cultures, and sometimes that means staying in North America. But being a missionary is what we're called to do because that means reaching people for Christ. Growing up, I grew up on the compound and we lived on the compound with other MAF missionaries. And MAF was certainly not an organization that I had any interest in joining growing up. I was always determined to be different from everybody, so I was not going to join MAF, one of those fancy organizations. And then ironically, God changed all that when he had me meet Brent and we decided to get married. And then it just made it easier to join MAF. So God kind of never say never to God. My favorite thing about being part of MAF is the fact that they don't narrow their field of vision just to aviation or just to aviation and technology. I've really discovered that MAF has a much wider vision and they really are wanting to reach Christ however and whatever that takes. So whether it's through education or technology or aviation or just helping the regular people get along in life, they are willing to go above and beyond for what Christ asks, which I think isn't very common nowadays, and I'm really excited to be part of that. My journey has, as with most people's, I would imagine, has had its ups and downs. I was excited that the Lord called me back to Angola, but living in Angola hasn't and probably won't ever really be all that easy. And there are days when I wish that I could just go back to North America and have a classroom that is normal. And but then I remember that I'm not particularly normal either. And if I can use the difficult things that have happened to me and my journey to help these kids, because they're not going to be in just coming to an English school doesn't give them a normal fit anywhere either. And so if I can help them figure out where their place in the world is, then it makes my difficulties more worth it. Personally, I think that children and education, and not just the book education, but honestly, helping them figure out how to live life and how to live life how Christ would have them live, I think is foundational to any ministry. And I think kids get lost a lot of the times. And I love that kids are so open and everybody learns differently and they have different strengths. and weaknesses. And as a teacher, I want to teach them how to use all of that to grow and connect with other people. And so I think it's important to be able to pour into these kids and show them, no, I will take the time to sit and listen to you. And I will take the time to figure out how to help you grow so that when you leave this place, you can go be an example to Christ, but you will also have the skills to be able to succeed in life. Now, some people, that means that they're math geniuses and they're going to get along, get the highest job out there. Other people, it's just learning how to make change and figuring out how to take care of their family to the best of their ability. I'm not here to create a whole bunch of little geniuses. Honestly, that's never been my goal. I have always felt that school and education is here so that kids can grow to the best of their own abilities. And I think it's important to remind them that even as kids, they're important and God has a plan for them, whether it's brilliance at math or just caring for people. And I enjoy seeing how God uses even these kids in the lives of their parents and the people around them. I would like to see it grow and expand because I feel like it is important to be able to reach more families and more kids and give them an opportunity to learn in an environment where they're supported and loved. But I also want to make sure that our focus is always on what God would have us do and how God wants us to pour into these kids. So if that means that we stay the size we are because that's what we can handle and that's how we can best serve them, then that's what we should do. I have a huge long waiting list for students who would like to get in, and I would love to be able to say yes to all of them. However, because it's only Kelly and I, and we have a few volunteers here and there, that has meant that we can't grow and expand to that extent, and maybe we're not supposed to. So I would say my hope for the school is that it will always be what God wants us to be, and whether that means that we can expand and have a full 5 classrooms with 5 different teachers, that would be amazing. But if it means that we need to just stay the size we are and pour into the ones we have already, then that's what we want to do. I've always felt that this school is God's, and however He wants to use us, we will be open to that.